Hello, this is the Alt Investigation Podcast. I am joined by the Alt Investigation Task Force. Hello, Danny.
Hello?
Hello, Green Dan.
Hi.
Hello, Ecual.
Hello.
And Sin, not Sin, VG is doing homework, so he's just listening in. Um, so we got the squad here now. Um, so this task force was brought together because we actually had a little bit of an investigation. I think it was yesterday, right? Or it was 2 days ago.
Or 2 days ago.
Yeah. So we had someone who was a bit, as the cool kids would say it, a bit sus.
Sassy.
He was a bit sussy. Um, he had like NW history, and he had a private Steam profile, and I don't think he had a mic either. So he was just like, checking all the boxes of what an alt would be. And then when we sort of called him out on it, he got like really aggressive and like, "How dare you accuse me of being an alt?" Right? And it was kind of weird because if someone is not an alt, they would just be chill about it, right? But he wasn't very chill about it. He was like very on his toes, I guess I would say. So what did you guys think of that whole situation?
Well, first of all, who says, "What's up, homies"? Like, bro, it's 2021. Nobody says that anymore.
True.
So, I mean, yeah, you check all the boxes. I mean, first of all, if you have a private Steam profile, you're not, like, it's not your main account. Like, I used to trade a lot of CSGO skins, right? And if they had a private profile, it was just an automatic scam. So already you're a bit sus right off the bat. And the fact that he typed out that whole ass book. Here, let me see if I can find it. The whole
Copy
first
pasta, yeah.
lol man, I got into Hold Fast a while back. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I actually thought it would have been a lot funnier if it actually wasn't an alt, because then we would have just dedicated an entire channel to just harassing some random guy.
Yeah.
Like imagine it's just some guy who just bought the game, trying to get into the community, and his first experience is like everyone spam pinging him, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, I think we were a bit rough on him. Like, even if it is an alt, I honestly don't give a shit. Like, it's just an alt. Everyone alts in this game. Not just this game. Like, people just alt. That's kind of a thing. Like, even if it was an alt of some well-established player already, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's all for shits and giggles.
Did he actually join the NR3? Like, did you guys let him in?
He's actually enlisted.
He was at a group fight against the TRB.
Is he good?
Fragging for a few rounds, but then he went negative.
I think it was a bit sketchy because, like, he was like, "Oh, what's better, an upstab or a downstab?" Like, he was kind of coming off like he was like a real noob. But then later on in the group fight, he's like, "Oh, why do we have a lifeguard? We should just have him as a part of the line." And he was like acting, he was like acting like he'd meleeed for like a long time, and it was like, "What the hell?" Like, Granddad, did you notice that at all?
Yeah, he was typing like a shitload in green chat, like more than I've like ever seen in like a group fight or anything. Like, man actually typed out a full.
Oh yeah, of course they don't have a mic.
Don't worry, guys. It's just the NW melee experience.
Like in Seven Foos, we have a lot of people, newer people on our group fight when we let into our group fights, because just for practice, so we try and rotate everybody in, right? And the new people don't say a single word the entire like hour-long group fight. So just have some random guy who's new to the game spam typing about lifeguards. I didn't know what a lifeguard was until 2 days ago.
Same, and I've been in this community since 2017.
What the fuck is a lifeguard?
It's like
How do you not? How do you not know this?
Well, I wonder who started using that term anyway. It's like lifeguard.
yeah.
It sounds
Probably
dumb.
I
Tyler.
knew what it was, but I like Sweeper better.
It's like, is it not the same thing?
It's the same.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's just different names.
I thought a sweeper was to pick up kills and a lifeguard was to more defend.
It could be. I don't know. I thought they were the same thing. I could be wrong.
So let's sort of get into like why people alt. I think there's like many different reasons. For me personally, I do have an alt, but I don't do like anything serious. Sometimes when I don't want to like come, sometimes like I go on rates on my alt, and I just don't want people to like be like, oh, Oscar, let's first to 10. Oh, Oscar, let's see how Ostra's doing. And I just want to kind of chill and just play without like any sort of expectations. But I'd never go as far as to like join another regiment or create another Discord or double reg or stuff like that. So why do you guys think people alt?
Um, I personally alt sometimes just so I can see like the channels I can't see through my own Discord. Like I have an alt in 2 different regiments right now. Actually, one's not a regiment, but I have one in a regiment in which I wanted to see the main chat, but I couldn't with my main because it was regiment only. So I just made a recruit alt, and I've never done anything with it, and it's sitting in there, so I can just read the main chat when I'm bored.
Yeah, like I don't think I have any right now because like I just got bored from it. But like I've had multiple. I think, yeah, I've had one in TRR. I've had one in 45E. I had one in Minutemen when we were kind of when they like were still a thing because we were kind of like they had beef with us or they didn't like us, so we did some trolling and we went to some of their events and shit and just fucked around. So yeah, that was fun. But I think people just use I guess Austria like sometimes if you're more established player and you're well known and you kind of just want to chill without having the pressure of living up to any expectations or people bugging you, you have an alt. But then I think there's also people who just do a bit of troll, like myself. So yeah.
People, I know K-pop was making jokes about alting, but that's just because he wanted to group fight more. So there's also people who just like maybe the regiment that they're in doesn't do a whole lot of competitive stuff, and they want to get more into the competitive side of the game, but they don't necessarily want to leave the regiment they're in right now.
Right.
I used annulled once, and that's just to help out in the group fight, but we ended up losing anyway, so who cares?
Who was it?
I'm not telling you.
Wait.
I think some people already know.
You
have to
alted
ask.
into a group fight while being part of the Stone Fuse?
Yeah, I did. I used my friend's like alt account just cause they could use more help. So I played mid, I top fragged, and we lost.
Was it the 33rd?
No.
Wait. How do you get away with top fragging on an alt and not getting caught? How does that work?
I don't know. I guess I really don't know. I was just doing straight stabs and I guess they just kind of walked into my stabs. So
Yep.
probably how
Do-
it felt, right?
Is it
Dual Reg, you're going on the blacklist. Goodbye.
God damn it.
Oh, this
is it
some-
cool if I just say the thing, VG?
Nah.
Wow.
I'm
What's the
kidding. You can
thing?
say it. You can say it.
I'm not gonna say it.
We
Unless
had-
you can like cut this out or some shit.
I'm pretty sure I told Shane already. So
We had
People
an
know.
internal group fight once. It was a couple weeks ago. Where it was our 2 infantry companies, the Gordon, which is Paprika's one, and then the CSG, which is Honor's one. And they had a group fight. And Gordon, which is already better, had Private Jerry 127394, which was it's crazy. And the funniest part was I knew it. I looked on the stream because Honor was streaming, and I saw he was like second frag. It was like 11-2, and I'd never seen this dude. I do a lot of roster work, so I never seen him on the roster. And I looked, and I'm like, "Is this crazy or something?" And then Siege, I'm in that call with Siege, and Siege's like, "Yeah, Crazy told me he's playing with them." And I literally had to DM Honor saying that was crazy because they just didn't notice somehow. You know,
What?
like most obvious shit. It was hilarious.
No, no offense to Crazy, but he second fragged against CSG.
Well, first frag was Paprika.
Yeah, but doesn't Gordon have power and
Oh, I think he's third frag. Yeah, you're right. He's
okay? Because I was gonna say, don't they have like power and triple M?
Yeah.
No, Green Dad, maybe you can speak on this a bit, but I know that Crazy was smuggling Tyler into the NR39 the past few weeks and maybe the past month. So do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I think Crazy and me, like we were both kind of. I gave Tyler one of my alts, and he renamed one of his alt Discord accounts to fit the Steam alt. And then I think Crazy also I forget what the exact thing Crazy did, but it was like with some other alt or some shit, and we smuggled him in, and then like about a week ago, we discussed it, and we were like, whatever. He's already come in here, and like Fires is aware because he had some DMs with Tyler's Discord alt, so he was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just unban him, and he can join, I guess. Like, there's no need to just have him on an alt if he's just gonna, like, we all know he's here, and we're not gonna ban him, so we might as well just, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have someone of Tyler's skill level alting, you're gonna figure out that it's not some random recruit.
He actually came to a single event, but it was obvious because I think Fires DM'd him when he first enlisted, or maybe Tyler actually might have DM'd him, kind of to troll, like just to alert him that he was alting, so Fires wouldn't get upset or something. So yeah, I don't think he came to an event even while he was on the alt. But then once since then, and yeah, it does help out the group fight team and comp team a lot. That was one of the reasons we let him back in, because we need help on all fronts.
What's like the number one red flag for you guys when it comes to spotting an alt? I think the obvious one is like someone you don't know the name of, and they just suddenly just do like very well, right? And then you like start investigating them, and stuff just isn't adding up, or it's behind some privacy walls and stuff. So like, what do you guys think is the best way to spot an alt?
So I
Profile.
think, yeah.
Account age.
Profile, yeah, account age. So in the TRR, we've had a lot of people like Osher, you've probably been told about like those people that keep coming back because we banned them and making alts.
You mean Alfred?
Nah, so it's like here. I don't know if you heard this. You guys may have, but we had people. We banned a couple of guys for racism and posting porn when we told them not to and stuff. And they made alts and stuff. They kept like making alts and rejoining the Discord. And one time they like joined the 8th LR Civil War under our tags and started team killing on the other team. And basically we had to get Mamba to permanently ban them from all PMG servers.
Damn.
But like also their name, because they'll make dumb names. Well, it would be like Among Us 22sus@gmail.com. Like that was literally one of their names. And we're just like, oh okay. But we know that's an alt.
Yeah, for me it's usually just account age. Like I looked when the ping guy when he first joined, and like and you made the alt. I copied his ID and like put it into an alt or into an age like checker, and it was like 2 months or something. So yeah, that's like when I alt even and I make a new account, like a new Discord account, I usually just say that my old account was like deleted or banned, or I got locked out of it. So yeah, if there's usually if there's anything, if you're already sussed about someone, and there's anything pertaining to like if it's kind of obvious, and then you also notice that his account is pretty new, I think it's pretty clear.
I was holding Windows instead of my push to talk key. I used to trade CS:GO skins a lot, so like pretty much private profile instantly means it's a fake account. Like there's no reason why anyone's profile would be private. The other thing is when you click on someone's like Discord handle and the little dude with the helmet pops up and says, "I'm new to Discord, say hi." Like what? No.
Yeah, we have a bot where we can just say like account info and it'll say their age. And a lot of them are just like 10 minutes ago. We're like, oh, okay, well let's just ban them real quick. Just ban them for ability. So you know who it is.
Now, to make a very convincing alt, it's not very cheap, right? Because you have to buy the game all over again, or else your Steam account is going to link back to your main, like through registry or just through your friends or through your groups or something, right? So, like, do you guys think that like successful alts need to buy the game again?
Yeah, because of the regiment registry and just being able to track it. So they probably need to like buy the game again on an alt and make a new Discord and have that Discord like be active for a couple of months, I guess, or a couple weeks. So it's not like, oh, this guy made it like half a week ago, and all.
I mean, if you're making like a legitimate alt, it's way more effort than it's worth, because you'd have to have like, I mean, first of all, if you could save yourself the time by just going private profile and just hoping that nobody like checks it. Although if you want to make an actual convincing account, you'd have to have like a lot of hours on a lot of different games. Like nobody makes a Steam account to play one single game and then has like 2 friends on their friends list.
Yeah, that's why I use my friend's account because he has like 100 hours in the game, so it's not sus, and he has other games too. Plus the profile is in private. So
Shane.
I think the way I did my when I
What?
ulted in that group fight, I thought it was pretty smart.
So Among Us. Does he have something to say?
Shane, we're just discussing alts. What's your opinion on alts and people joining regiments that are kind of sus?
I think that unless they're gonna like participate in a comp match, I don't think it really is a big deal. Because like, what if you're thinking about like transferring somewhere, right? You don't want to end up transferring and like be like, oh, I really don't like this, and transfer again, and you're like, wow, I also don't like it here, and be all of a sudden people think you're a red shopper, right? So I feel like for like a legitimate purpose of seeing what a regiment is like, creating an alt for a few days isn't so bad. But I think if you're making an alt just to troll, that's also kind of just funny and like whatever. It's not really going to impact anything. But I think alt in comp matches and like getting an alt to be like an NCO or stuff like that, I think that's not really cool.
But you know what I just realized? So after our event a couple days ago, I made an announcement about like I was hosting like an internal group fight thing for practice, and then there were no mercs in the channel, like in TeamSpeak, when I checked it. And then like 3 minutes after I made the announcement, like I'm not gonna say who, but someone joins my TeamSpeak channel asking if mercs are allowed to come to the thing.
Oh, Jesus!
So
I'll check logs.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
They
Well, I
weren't
mean,
in the. They weren't in the VC, or they can't see the channel. Like
They
for the.
can't
If
see
this,
our announcement channels.
yeah,
So.
exactly. So they have to have an alt, or maybe someone they know, but
I still don't.
well, yeah, but it was 5 minutes after I said it. So
Well, it seems to me that the holdfast sales are the best time to alt up, buy the game for like $10
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
like 5 copies.
new update
Crap.
coming soon.
Yeah, I think for me, my biggest thing with alts is trolling, but it depends on the type. Because, like, as I said before, we had people that we banned go on alts with our tags and team killed the other team. Or, like, yesterday, we had some guy, no ETR, and then his name was, like, Free Chauvin, you know, the guy that killed George Floyd. And, like, all this other, we kicked him, and then he rejoined with something else. And then we banned him. He wasn't in a call or anything. And so we knew he was an alt. We don't know how he got info, but, like, it's probably one of the guys we banned, you know, for racism, like I said before. But that's why, like, in the TR, we really don't like alts for that reason. We've had alts come in and almost get us banned from events before.
Yeah, especially because you guys are like the best melee regiment right now. You get more alts than anyone else.
Yeah, we get a ton. It's really annoying sometimes.
So yeah, go ahead, BG.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck.
Oh my
You can go
God.
ahead.
I ruined
I'll
it.
remember.
Soiled
I'll
it.
remember.
Soiled it.
I remember it now. I remember last year there were like a group of like 5, 10 people who used like alt accounts and then impersonated my regiment and just team killed an entire line. Joined an event and
Oh
team killed an
yeah.
entire line.
Oh, the TKF Georgian
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Yeah, I lost the video for that, but I don't know. I find it hilarious. But yeah, it was clearly alts because half of those people are inactives.
So at what point do you think like alting like crosses the line? Like, is there like acceptable, um, acceptable alting? What's the word? Uh, Acceptable ways to alt, I guess, and then non-acceptable ways.
For me personally, I think if you're alting, just like see like you know the main chat. Like for us, is the Citadel, where only red members can see. and not doing anything, you're just a recruit sitting there. I don't really care. But if you're trying to infiltrate and like make like maybe like try to join a company by going to events and trying to make the red spice up relations between the companies and make them bad, or infiltrating the coup or do something like that. I don't like stuff like that, or trolling like too much. I think that's kind of where it cuts the line.
Honestly, if you're alting to create drama in a video game, you have way too much free time on your hands.
Or you're a
first place.
psychopath.
Yeah,
That is
you're either a psychopath or you need a job. But I mean, yeah, like Shane said earlier, if you're just alting just to get like the feel for a regiment before joining on your main, just so that you're not deemed like a quote reg hopper, I guess that would make more sense. But if you're alting for like I guess not necessarily even like for a friendly group fight, it's not like obscene to alt.
I feel like
But
it's only
if you're alting in
okay
like
for-
RGL, then it's pretty bad.
I don't like alting in like friendly group fights even because
I
that's
I
just kind
only
of dirty. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna play the seven foos, but we have an alt of Dingus and like Starblazer. Like,
Yeah,
that's
seven
not-
foos recruit Sean goes 52 and 14.
Yeah, like that's out of like taken out of spectrum. I'm not saying that would happen, but it's like
I
don't
only
expect
think
that.
it's like okay for alting in group fights. It's like, if TR is fighting like A team against 26th A team or something, and maybe we had one like pretty high level merc just to make the match, a little not 15-0. Because like obviously going into that, we both know which team's gonna win. I feel like in a friendly match in that scenario, maybe it's like okay, just because it could make it more fun for both teams by making it not a total stomp.
Actually, yeah, I remember we
But-
group fought. We group fought like a group fight team. I forget what they were called, but they had like a lot of really high profile
Oh.
members.
Yeah, I was on that team.
I think it's TRR.
No,
I
it wasn't.
I
It
remember.
wasn't. It was
It was
Monkey.
the monkey group
Monkey.
fight team. It
Yeah,
was,
it had-
yeah, I was on that.
TRR. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
I'm
I'm
monkey
pretty sure.
one. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like Dingus, Equal, Adam, like a bunch of really high profile people, and we had like Starblazer Merc for us.
And Toasty.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Facing Star in the mid was
Yeah.
cool.
We ended up winning, and it was really close. And I think in something like that, because it's just a friendly group fight for practice, because I'm pretty sure if we didn't have Starblazer and Tosa, we would have got stomped. So something like that, it's more acceptable just to make it more evenly matched.
Yeah, I agree.
In my short experience with alting, I think to effectively like actually make an alt, it's like not like I have not seen it happen where like if you want to actually make an alt and be in a reg and actually like attend events and try and act as if you were like an actual member and not just sit idle so you can like watch their channels or whatever, that requires you to like, at least for NA, it requires you to like stop going to events for your own reg, go like on like on leave or whatever, all this shit that like I don't think anyone that like at least any of the alts that I've seen have that time commitment and also want to actually do that shit, because it like what is the reward? All you're doing is like you're just in another reg, but like you're giving up your already well established position or whatever in your current reg where you know all the people and shit. Like it, and also like there's what the fuck is your motive? Like only like the most like you have to be a fucking like psychopath to do that type of shit. That is just it's weird. Like to actually like fully commit and just give up on everything else and just hold fast gaming.
Yeah, it's
But, yeah.
way too much of a time commitment.
Well, it seems to me that alting is best used for like what Ecual was saying, to see different channels, or sort of like what VG did and just help out a faltering group fighting team. But it seems like, yeah, like the whole double life thing I don't think happens too much. It's more of like, hey, let me just alt for this one specific thing, right? And not like an entire lifestyle, I guess. It's more unrealistic.
Is
Yeah.
this being recorded?
Yes.
No, it's
Oh.
just for fun.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a-
just talking about alts in a private call just for fun.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
No.
We're being sarcastic, Shane.
But I can't tell.
He's American. They're stupid.
That's true.
Typical
He wasn't-
American.
Wait, so is
American.
it actually
Slack.
Yes, it is being recorded.
okay?
Right, Shane. Stupid.
So yeah, like with the ping situation, like it was so weird because it's like, okay, dude, like you have a private Steam profile. We learned about this in our 39, but that mic button, bam, went straight to mute. Um, and they have NW history and they get extremely angry if you ask them about it. So it's like, of course people are gonna accuse you of being an alt. Like, what did you expect? Like, at least have some story plan, like ready to go or something. Don't just be like, oh, I don't care what you think and you have a sad life, man. Like, I don't even know.
I mean, an excuse for a private profile would be like if you're like younger and you just go like, "Oh, my mom doesn't want people knowing my online details" or some shit
Yeah,
like
just
that.
something.
But then he popped out a group fight like 52-6. So
He
I
was
mean,
52-6 at a group
no,
fight.
no, I'm just saying with like alts in general. Like, I don't think that my mom doesn't want me to like strangers to see my Steam profile. Like, if you're gonna actually try and like perform well and like pretend to be this, just oh, I'm just I played in W. I'm just gifted or whatever. Like, I feel like passing off as a 9-year-old isn't gonna work
Yeah.
that long.
I guess especially with the nature of the game because there's no, I mean, a game like Call of Duty or a lot of more popular online games, if you're a shitter when you start out, it's fine because you're matched up against other shitters. But like majority of the people in the melee community have like over 1,000 hours and are just gonna shit all over you for the first not even couple for the first couple 100 hours that you play in the game. So this isn't a game that you just pick up and you're just good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like blocking. Blocking is the main thing that you just have to grind and grind and grind. And that doesn't come overnight. Like, even if you're coming from NW, like, the timing and everything in Holdfast is different, right? And you just have to put your nose to that grinder and just practice every single day.
I've
to get
never
good at it.
played NW. I've never played NW, but apparently, instead of blocking, they always try to like chamber where you like counterattack and then it kills them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
like instead of clashes, they have something called chambering. Chambering pretty much acts as a block and an attack at the same time. So imagine a clash, but the clash happens and then you also attack through it. But then they can also chamber, so it's kind of weird. They can chamber your
Yeah.
chamber.
yeah, so I feel like if someone was actually new to this game, um, coming from NW, they'd try to do more of that, just as by instinct.
I want to put a scenario up to you guys, and I want to know like what you guys would do in this situation. So say that I alted for the 26th. Say I message Shane. I'm like, Shane, I'm gonna help your group fighting team out. I'm gonna play against a 47E, and I'm gonna fight for you. So say that I got caught, and it was also found out that Shane knew about the whole situation. So what do you guys think the punishment should be? Should Shane be punished? Should I be punished? And what would that punishment entail?
It's just I think if it's just like a friendly group fight, like there's nothing up like for stake, like there's no benefit really of winning other than like bragging rights or whatever. Like, I guess that's kind of how all group fights are. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't really matter, it doesn't affect shit, then honestly, I think just leave it be. Like, it's a game. Like, that's all it is. Like, people play this game to have fun. They don't really give a shit if like, or at least for me, like, I don't really give a shit if you alt because I alt, like, it's just a thing people do, and I think I get, yeah, like with group fights at like a higher stage, I guess. And I think, yeah, just don't do that because, like, people have been like, they're trying to actually win shit. They're doing it for the title. They want to be the best. So don't mess up that for them. But like, if it's just a friendly group fight, I don't give a shit. Just have fun, honestly.
I think I don't know if it. I think I agree with Dan in terms of like if it's a friendly, I don't think there should really be a punishment. But I can definitely say that if I'm fighting a team that's like a close match for me, like with their actual team, and then they just get like, a bunch of high tier mercs or something, I'm just not scheduling friendly matches with them anymore. Like, but I don't think there should be like a actual like punishment, like, oh, you brought a merc to friendly match, no RGL for a year. Like, I think that's a little
Wait,
dumb.
if you're doing that in RGL, then you should probably be like, I don't know, maybe banned from competitive events.
Banned from RGO.
Yeah, but if it's just a friendly,
Yeah.
if it's just a friendly thing, then like really who cares? If it makes the game closer, then honestly it's probably good because ultimately friendly group fights are just for practice. And if having a higher tier player on a team stops them from getting stomped, then it's just in the end it's just better practice.
I think also ultimately, like what happens to the person if they're even caught, like you know, like murking or whatever, or alting for like a group fight. It's just up to like that person's judge on what happens. I guess not for something like with RGL, but like I don't think that's happened, and I don't think it will really. But like you know, if it's just a friendly match and it's actually like the reg that person in is in like actually gives like cares that they've been alting in a group fight, and it's up for like them to decide. Like it shouldn't really concern like anyone else. And yeah, like yeah, boom.
Based on the fact you use Shane as an example, the next time we group fight the 26, I'm gonna be watching the flanks for someone holding S.
Eski's too OP, man. I'm telling you.
Cat, which hold W.
I'll just say there was a certain person who was begging us to merc for the 47E match. Who was
Under a
they're
different
not
name?
on this call, but
Was it
they
was
were
it the
like,
same
"Let me
person?
merc. I want
Was
to
it
be
the?
They joined the server as recruit troller."
Oh,
I think it's the same. Is it the same person that wanted to merc for between Seven Foods versus NR39?
It
Because
might
we
be, I
already
don't know.
know who.
What was I gonna say? So with that whole group fighting thing, and like you kind of want to get it to an even playing field. So like if it gets to a point where you're just smuggling people in to make it more even, why not just be like upfront about it and be like, hey, like this guy wants to play, he's a merc, can this just happen? Like, do you guys think that's a better alternative than just smuggling people in?
Well, I think there's
Yeah.
two. I think there's two sides to this. The first side is what's the point of like a regiment v regiment group fight if you're just going to allow mercs? Because ultimately, like I said before, a friendly group fight's just for practice. And if you're playing a merc over somebody on your actual roster who wants to get better, then it kind of just defeats the purpose. And that's why, like personally, we don't let people merc in actual group fights. And the other side is, I forgot what I was going to say.
That's probably like if you need a merc for numbers because you literally have too few people. Because like I agree with if someone on your team should not be sitting for a merc, but like say you're like last second you're like crap we only have 8 guys, and the other team has like 12, and they were probably gonna win pretty easily anyway, or even if they're not, you can bring certain level of merc or whatever just to try to make it a more balanced fight. It could probably help both teams more by having a 10v10 instead of getting like an 8v8 that's just lower.
As long as you're not like bringing Reddish or Starblazer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in NR39 when I think it was maybe our second or maybe third group fight, and we didn't have numbers that day because we were missing a few of our like key players. Um, I'm not going to use names, but we did have someone alt and help us. But I do think yeah, if it's just for numbers and like it's a friendly match, I don't yeah it shouldn't matter that much.
Yeah, if it's just for numbers and obviously the player isn't like exceptional, then yeah, I guess it's fine in that circumstance.
Generally, I think it's the bigger. I think the big issue is also trying to just implement into a regiment. Like when we had, you guys probably won't remember when we had Pawn, that guy that was just all of a sudden pretty good.
Pawn. Highlander sent that alt into retirement.
Yep. I'm pretty sure he like beat Paprika by like 3, I think, or something, like a first 20. When I played him, it was a bit before my peak, so I was not at my peak yet, but I was still pretty good. And I beat him 10-6, and it seemed like he was throwing rounds like hard. It was so weird. And he said he was from NW. Yeah, he knew how to crouch stab like me. So doubtful, you know.
Is crouch stabbing in NW? Okay, well if it's not in NW, that seems like a really weird thing.
Yeah,
Because like,
they were good too. They were like really good crouch stabs.
yeah,
Not,
like
not the shitty ones where a new guy in melee is learning them and they're the easiest in the block. They were good ones where I like was confused by them like this a lot of time.
yeah, like it.
Really.
It doesn't. I mean, the idea of a crouch stab doesn't make any sense. Like you kneel and then you go to stab the person. Like to someone who doesn't melee, it's a concept that makes no sense.
Exactly.
Well, but how are spins any better?
Well, because that kind of makes sense when you think about it. Like if you're not looking at them, it makes it harder to see what attack they're doing. But like without knowledge of how crouching affects the animations, why would you ever do it?
Okay, I guess I can see that.
Getting a bit off
Alright.
topic, but so I did set up the alt investigation channel. Like it's sort of a meme, and it's sort of like I guess realistic, because we do want to be on the lookout for alts. But do you guys think that the ping situation was handled properly? And if not, what could we do better next time?
Harass them more.
Wait,
I-
did you
okay,
guys
I'm
figure
not
out
gonna-
who it was?
Okay,
No.
I feel bad, but I kind of enjoyed harassing. Just because in the 7 Who's Discord, I can't really be like too toxic like that.
Bro, you
Otherwise,
literally,
I'll
you
be too
literally
loaded.
you literally won my toxicity award. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, you know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if someone's actually alting, like they're not gonna tell you who they are. They're just gonna delete the account and then move on.
Con moment.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
But I mean, I feel like it didn't really hurt anybody. I mean, granted, we did kind of go a little hard at the guy, but it was very obviously a fake account.
And he's aggressive towards us. So when we asked him like one simple question,
His maiden name.
So do you guys think we should do the same thing like next time around? Next time Pawn 2.0 or Ping 2.0 comes around, or should we conduct ourselves a bit differently?
No, I think we should do it exactly the same way.
I'm thinking
Just
maybe
go in out of the Discord.
try to draw more information out of him so you can see who it is.
Yeah, maybe wait until we get a little more information to like just start harassing them. But
Yeah.
Well, see, when you only have their Steam profile and maybe one or two messages that they wrote, like what else do you have to go on, right? That's the thing with alts. They're alts, and you think they're an alt because there's not much information to go on. Like, that's the whole point of it, right?
well, people who are new to, I guess I was gonna say people who are newer to the community aren't gonna join this Discord. But I guess that's not really true. But like
No,
if you're
it's
joining,
pretty true.
yeah, like if you're in this Discord, you at least have, even if you're bad, like you at least have a base knowledge of what Melee is, and you're clearly interested in getting into it. So you're not new to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I got a question.
go ahead.
Ostro, like, why are we, why is there even an alt investigator role? Like, why are we, like, me, VG, Danny and Ecual, I think.
Just purple.
Yeah, I guess, but like, we're just holdfasters. We are melee. Like we are people. What am I saying? Like, why is there even a role? Basically, like, why are we qualified for this and we have the role? Like,
So the way I see things, this is like a principle I have for like, be it like the Holdfast Draft League, and when it comes to owners, and when it comes to referees, and when it comes to alt investigators. I take notice of people that have an interest in something and people that don't sit around and wait for something to come to them. So when I made the alt investigation channel, I took note of who was actually trying to figure out who the alt was or who was like chiming in and stuff. And those are the sort of people that you want to have like on some sort of a team. The people that um, don't wait around and they just sort of like go for it. So I kind of noticed that about you guys, that you guys were actively participating in that whole that whole thing that went down with Ping. So that's why I chose you as the alt investigation task force.
I think the best thing that came out of the channel was Equal saying that he found somebody's IP address and then traced it to like a location.
Okay, it wasn't me. Someone found their alt because that person was a server admin for Holdfast, so they know how to get they can get people's alts off the admin password. We traced it and we compared it to other people's pings around that area. They were within an hour of another meleeer. And we compared the pings they got on those exact servers, and they were like a 15 to 20 ping difference.
I mean, 15 to 20, that's not even bad. Like, just for reference, like when I play Valorant with my friends, we have two different internet providers, and they get, on Chicago servers, they get 16 ping, and I get 32.
Yeah, it was with this game. A lot of people, if they live near the same area, they get around the same ping. We compared it. This person got like 49 on New York, while Pawn got like 32, and this person got like I think 50 or like 42 on St. Louis, while Pawn got like 36. And it's just like that don't make sense. And that person and Pawn supposedly lived within an hour of each other.
Okay, Echo, you're gonna have to explain this whole pawn thing because it almost seemed to me that Pawn and Paprika were like dating or something, online dating.
What?
Huh?
A lot of us
What?
thought Pawn was an alt because, especially me, because after I fought him, like I've trained up people. I triple him. I started training him. He was like my first person I've kind of started training up, even though he got really good more or less on his own. But you don't just come out from NW and start like acting like he was like crazy good. Like I sweated so hard to not lose because I didn't want to lose to an alt or someone that had just come in the community, you know. And it was I don't know. I thought he was an alt because of just that, and then we looked it over because he had like a private Steam profile. He didn't really have. Actually, he talked like once, and there's like two recordings of his voice. One was like a girl, and one was like a guy. Like, it was super weird. I don't like they were using a voice changer, but like they didn't talk. Like it was like accidental. And one night, me and a couple other people, I'm not going to say their names, got together to try to figure out maybe who it was.
The task force.
And we compared
Special agent.
Yep, because we were just curious, who could this be? We definitely think it's an alt. And for some reason, Paprika just didn't think it was an alt. He was super anti against it. He was super like, they're not an alt. People should stop harassing.
He was with like that with me as well. He was like very angry that you would even consider upon an alt.
Yeah, which I get. I felt kind of bad, even if he wasn't alt, that because he was getting really harassed by a lot of even outside regimental people. Which I kind of stopped investigating that after a bit, because when he left, it was like random. Like it was like 2 or 3 weeks, and like there really hadn't been any talk of it, and he just left the Discord randomly, and then later deleted the account, which is still that's also a reason to think it was an alt. No one does that. But when me and those guys went to go investigate it, we compared to someone else who lived in the same area as him. This person
Here, I'll be right back.
and someone else lived within Pawn and this person lived about within an hour of each other. Because one of the guys we were working that was there knew where he lived, like the city he lived. Not gonna say who it is. And we compared that person's ping, Pawn's ping, to the person's ping that lived about an hour, and they were like 15 to 20 off on St. Louis and New York server. And we kind of were just like, that's like we have that person's IP, so they're probably using a VPN, like hide it.
Yeah, VPN changes your.
Yeah, that we thought it was just that person was VPN. Like, why would you use a VPN if you're not alted. You know.
I'm back. Yeah, it makes no sense. Using a VPN just gives you worse ping. Like why would you do that?
Yeah, so we definitely thought they were using a. Well, no, they don't, it doesn't give you worse ping because it still takes from where you're at. It just gives you a fake IP. So like that person, we believe he had a fake IP because his ping wasn't matching up to the area he was in. If that makes sense.
So did you think Paprika was in on it at all, or do you think Paprika was just a victim in the whole thing?
You know what? We talked about that, and there was like 6 of us. And I think like 1 or 2 of them were like maybe, but for the most part, we really didn't think so because it was kind of just way out there. We're kind of just thinking Paprika. I don't know. We just didn't think Paprika just didn't really care because like the last person like this was Jagar, and Jagar wasn't all. He was baller,
Yes.
and that's like almost exactly what I was like. This is definitely this is exactly like Jagar, and like he just comes out of nowhere and starts being really good. So we were kind of I don't know. I don't know why Paprika defended so hard.
So
but,
based on the city, like, do you think you know who it is?
I
Like,
thought about it, but one of the people that was helping us investigate it is like good friends with that person that like with someone that could have been, but it wasn't. Like their pings didn't match up. We don't know who it is like at all. Like that was one of the things we tried. The ping was similar to Reddish in some way, like 33, 36, but I don't think Reddish would make
I
it
feel
all.
like you
Like,
would.
talk.
I feel like you would know if it's a Reddish alt.
Yeah, he's
The
really
other
good.
thing,
But
the other
I
thing
feel
about
like
Reddish is that he speaks when spoken to. So
I've spoken to Reddish like twice.
That
I
is
don't I don't
true.
I don't think it would have been Reddish. I don't think Reddish would do that. Reddish just doesn't he's just chill right back, like doesn't talk to a lot of people. So I'm thinking like he would do that. But besides that I have no idea who it would be. But yeah.
Okay, I have to pee really badly, so I think this would be a good time to end the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be on the lookout for alts, especially with NWL coming up, with HDL, with RGL. I think it's safe to say that we don't care too much if there's no stakes on the line, but as soon as there's competitive stakes, I think we all agree that everything should be on an even playing field and totally upfront.
Definitely.
yes.
Cool. This has been the Alt Investigation Podcast. Task Force out. See you guys.
So yeah.
I'm about to roll out.
Pog.